and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa onye na-efe na aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị na ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọbụla na ya ka ike niile nọ n'ọbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee eziokwu mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe ndị kwuru anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna n'ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise.
Yeah, I just want to have a very brief program here now about what is happening in the world. You see, a lot of things is going on. Presently, we are talking about the invasion of Ukraine. The invasion of Ukraine by Russia is on top of the news now. Everybody is talking about it. Everybody is speaking about it. The whole world is focused on Ukraine. Everybody is speaking about the situation of Ukraine, but there are other Ukraine that are existing that they're not talking about. There are other Ukraine in so many countries that people are ignoring. They don't talk about it. Nobody wants to speak about it. Nobody wants to say anything about it. But everybody now is focused on one direction, talking about the invasion of Ukraine. The people of Ukraine, we are in solidarity with them. The ordinary citizen in Ukraine, of course, they are going through a very difficult time. It's a very challenging time for them. Very challenging time. And we are in solidarity with them. Their land has been invaded by a superior power, and they are fighting back to retake their land and defend their land. What they're doing is what they have to do. Everybody has to defend his or her territory. It doesn't matter the kind of enemy you're having that is coming to take over you must have to defend yourself. So when we talk about defending yourself, that is where you see self-defense taking place. They have to defend themselves, the Ukrainians, in as much as Russia is very powerful and stronger than them, but yet they have to defend themselves. So we are in solidarity with them, and we pray that their destruction will stop and more life will not be lost in that very area. After speaking about the issue of Ukraine, I still have to talk about the other Ukraine in Africa. There is another Ukraine in Africa that people fail to talk about. International community are not talking about it. No media is reporting about it. And that Ukraine in Africa is Biafra. Biafra has been invaded. Biafra land has been invaded by the military, Nigerian military. Nigerian military have invaded Biafra land. They invaded Biafra land, and again, they have taken the life of so many people, abducted so many people, destroyed homes, burned down homes. But nobody is talking about it. Nobody is speaking about it. Ask yourself why. Why is it that the international community are not talking about the Ukraine in Africa? That is the hypocrisy of the West. That's what I call it, hypocrisy. When things happen to Africa or Africans, they don't talk about it. They feel less concerned. But when something happens in the West, we stand in solidarity with them. The blacks will stand in solidarity with them and speak about it. We'll talk about it on media, we'll speak about it, we'll speak how gruesome it is, and we'll give our own views and opinion, and we'll shout on top of our voices. But when the thing has to do with African countries, nobody talks about it. They allow us to die. They don't care. Today, everybody is looking onto Ukraine, that Ukraine is being invaded. Look at what is happening in Amazonia. Amazonia has been invaded by Cameroon. Amazonia have been invaded by Cameroon. Children are being killed. Children, women are being killed in Amazonia. Even as you're watching the video, they are taking the life of people. We saw some disturbing videos that are coming from Ukraine, and everybody's outraged. I'm not saying that it is right. It is the wrong thing to do. Russia, with all their might, don't have to go and exercise their power on Ukraine. It's the wrong thing to do. They don't have to. But why is it that people are not talking about the other Ukrainians in so many places? The Ambazonia people are being mowed down today. Ambazonia is under siege. Cameroon have taken over Ambazonia. They occupy the land and taken the life of innocent people. Homes burned. Children and women killed. The same thing in Biafra land. Homes burnt down. Occupation forces are there. They have taken over the area, destroying the mineral resources and everything, and nobody's speaking about it. But today, you see, when something is happening in the West, every one of us is talking. We are shouting. We are saying how bad it is. We are talking about it, which is the right thing to do. Of course, what is happening in Ukraine is bad. It's bad. But from information we get, there are some other people in Ukraine, there are some other tribes in Ukraine that also want to have their independence in Ukraine, but Ukraine have refused them independence. There are some other tribes in Ukraine that are Russians, and they are in support of Russia, but they want to have their own region also. They want to have their own country. But Ukraine have refused to give them a referendum to have their own freedom. And that is what the Russia is capitalizing on. Russia is capitalizing on that, saying that they are coming to save their own brothers on that region. And that is why they are invading Ukraine. That is why you see what is happening in Ukraine happen. You see, that is why when we are saying, when you don't do the needful, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Just like the way the Nigerian government is oppressing the Biafran people. We have been speaking peacefully, asking them for a referendum, speaking peacefully, asking them for a referendum. They keep at them and they don't want to listen. Imagine that they cannot have been asking for self-determination. Not through war. Not through war, but through a referendum. The Ududua people are asking for a referendum. The Middle Belts are asking for a referendum. But Nigeria will never give that referendum. They are so scared to talk about the issue of referendum. Today, you see what is happening in Ukraine. Ukraine have refused a referendum. That is why Russia have capitalized on that to fight against Ukraine. A war has been declared against Ukraine. There are people going so many operations in Africa, mainly the Biafran people. When you bring the situation of Biafran people into this very issue, you will see what we are going through. You see, Biafran land is under occupation, complete occupation. All our mineral resources have been taken away. Young men are being mowed down and killed. The occupation forces are in Biafra land, taking over properties, destroying lives, destroying homes, destroying businesses. Nobody is reporting about it. International community, they pretend as if they don't know what is happening in Biafra land. But today, because of the sanction that Russia has given them, they are hoping on the oil from Biafra land. They are hoping on the gas from Biafra land. And you think it will be well with them. This is the hypocrisy that I find it difficult to understand. When something happens to Africa, people don't talk about it. People, they take it that we are not human. But when something happens in the West, even Africans, we cry along with them. We stand in solidarity with them. But when it comes to our own side, they feel less concerned. They never show any concern about the situation of the black race. That is why every black person has to stand up to free himself. That is why Biafrans are fighting. That is why we will never stop. Imagine that they cannot say we will never stop until Biafra comes. No matter how they try to stop Biafra, they can't. They cannot stop Biafra. We will continue to fight for Biafra until Biafra falls. Even if it is one person that remains, that one person will build Biafra, and Biafra will continue to fly. Biafra will continue to fly. The hypocrisy of the West, they will never fight for the interests of people. They are only fighting for their own personal interests. If you check very well why they are supporting Ukraine and fighting Ukraine, you will see the interest they have in Ukraine. You see the special interest they have in the world resources. or they want to stay, excuse me, they want to stay just at the backyard of Russia to monitor whatever is going on in Russia. Because of that interest on their security, that is why every one of them today is talking about Russia. They want to give sanctions to Russia. But these same people who are standing to give sanction on Russia, they are the same people who are supporting the occupation of Biafra land. Britain is fully supporting the occupation of Biafra land. Britain is using, not even supporting, Britain is the one occupying Biafra land, using the Fulani Caliphate because of the resources we have in Biafra land. That is why they cannot speak up for issue of Biafra. When you mention the issue of Biafra in United Nations, all of them walk away because of their own selfish interests. Biafran people, we are on our own. Nobody's speaking for us. Nobody's going to fight for us. And as long as you are African, nobody's going to fight for you or speak for you. We are always fighting our battle. We are on our own. On our own at all times. Nobody can stand for you anywhere. Nobody can fight for you anywhere. It is you and I that will free ourselves from this captivity. The enemy is not stopping. They are not stopping. But I bet you what is happening in Ukraine today, what's happening in Ukraine today, if you look at it critically, that is exactly what is happening in the country called Nigeria. The same scenario in country called Nigeria. But that issue of Biafra and Nigeria, nobody is talking about it. Nobody is speaking up about it. Biafra is a nation that have existed on its own for 3 good years. They fought a war. At the end of the day, they said no victory language. They talked about the 3 R: reconstruction, rehabilitation, and what other one? The 3 R. But they never implemented any one of these. Reconstruction, rehabilitation, reintegration. They never did any one. Even when we decided to reintegrate ourselves, they reject us and they fight against us. The Biafran decided to develop themselves and rebuild themselves, reconstruct themselves. They destroy it again. Rehabilitation, they have refused to rehabilitate anybody. We are rehabilitating ourselves. Yet, they will not let us be. How long shall we continue to listen to this continue to tolerate this evil and continue to listen to this evil people? Biafran people are being oppressed in the contraction called Nigeria. The oppression against Biafran people cannot be mentioned. I'm telling you that more people are killed in Biafra land than you see in Ukraine today. More people are losing their life in Biafra land than you see in Ukraine. They have used aircraft to bomb people in Biafra land. Many souls lost. Homes of people are being burnt down. Innocent people who did nothing. The same occupation forces you are seeing marching to Ukraine today, they are already in Biafra land, destroying Biafra people and Biafra structures. But nobody's speaking about it. When you talk, they say you're talking. I want you to watch this video and let's try to listen and see.
We are going into election. Just look at what happened in Zamfara a few hours ago and what has been happening in most states of northern Nigeria and even in the south. So will this determine electioneering ahead of 2023 like it did in 2015?
First, let me say I was in Ondo 3 days ago to attend a friend's birthday colloquium. And I spoke there. And while I was there, we received the news that gunmen killed 3 people. The gunmen that they termed suspected Fulani herdsmen. I want to, because Nigerians don't really look at issues and try to analyze and rationalize them. Me, I'm even beginning to think that governments at all levels, because they are losing popularity, are allowing this insecurity to flourish
so that they
can use it during election
campaign
to write themselves into office for the next phase. But it is also here before you, because I will just be referring to you that I said last time that Jonathan was better because in 2015, he postponed election by 6 weeks. You remember? And brought in mercenaries. Jonathan, why are you people not reflecting back? Jonathan brought in mercenaries. And within 6 weeks, the mercenaries reversed the fortune of Nigerian military and security and sent the Boko Haram out of.
This is not the video I want to play, but when you listen to this man also, you can see he's talking about the insecurity in the north. But the insecurity in the north cannot be compared with what we are seeing in the southeastern part of Nigeria. What is happening in Biafra land, it can never be compared. These people are intentionally, when you heard him speaking, he was talking about the government intentionally causing the insecurity. And where they are now causing the major insecurity is in the southeastern part of Nigeria. That is where the major insecurity is. That is where they are invading with impunity in Biafra land. The insecurity you are seeing in Biafra land is being orchestrated by these evil men in order to push forward their evil agenda. But people are pretending as if they don't know what is happening. That is exactly the situation. The world don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to speak about it. The Biafran people are crying, killed on daily basis. Nobody is standing on their behalf. Nobody. No single person is standing on their behalf. Today, everybody is talking about Ukraine. But there is another Ukraine in your backyard. Even the people in the Janjaweed country, they are talking about Ukraine, forgetting that there is a Ukraine in that country of Nigeria, where people are being mowed down on a daily basis. A land that has been invaded. Nobody cares. When you ask, they ask, what are you asking? Watch this one and see. Let me see this video.
In record time.
One thing that the Igbos are feeling is a sense of victimization, a sense of alienation. When you show on TV, sometimes the media people of government, they are not very sensitive. When you show on TV, Igbo traditional rulers, respected Igbo traditional rulers, sitting under trees in front of the court, not being allowed in, they get very angry. The person outside seeing it gets very angry. And then when you see an imagery, sometimes we are not sensitive in this country. You see an imagery of a man with a northern cap, the typical northern cap, standing behind the Nnamdi Kanu. It's been a recurrent decimal. Standing behind Nnamdi Kanu, taking him to court. It shows a sense of a region persecuting another region. And then when Nnamdi Kanu is to come to court, you bring coffin, another segment of this nation, their youth, bring coffin to demonstrate in a matter that is a judicial matter. It shows that there is a political undertone. And the psyche of the Igbo man is being traumatized on a daily basis. If we don't end it now, it will stay for too long. This is a civil war, Biafra, that they fought when I was a child. I was 6 years old when, I was how many years old when the war ended? I was 1970. I was 11 years old when the war ended. The thing is still rejuvenating. But let me talk to the Igbo leaders first. They came to, they are too sluggish, too slow. When this agitation started, they should have gone to meet the president to discuss with him the issues that this young man is raising. Okay. You understand? Yes. The seemingly partial treatment of a segment of the country and the harsh treatment of another segment of the country. There was a day I saw online during the recent agitation, before he escaped out of the country. Igbo young men were rolling in the water and soldiers were standing over them. I had to call my Igbo friends who were top politicians in the APC. I called them. Look at what they are doing in your region. Why are you quiet? It was then some of them made calls and the thing ameliorated. The leadership of the Igbo community sometimes are too sluggish. Now, the Yorubas formed Amotekun when their people were being raped and killed in the farms. And Amotekun was legitimized, given uniforms and vehicles. The region came together. Why would you stay idle and docile until a young man who you know is agitated comes up with Eastern Security Network to protect their mothers and whatever? If the Igbo governors had come quickly and established Eastern Security Network with Igbo young volunteers, like as they have hunters in the north and all that, and legitimized it, added the police and the army to it, to battle the herdsmen crisis, we wouldn't have had Nnamdi Kanu forming Eastern Security Network that we don't have control over now. The Eastern governors have always allowed a vacuum that people key on to win the sentiments of the people, and they have lost control over their people. Do you know that the IPOB did something very dramatic during the recent elections in Anambra? By saying that the people should go and vote, they proved that they had influence over the people, and the people came out to vote. So the IPOB should also see that the APC, I'm not a politician, the APC government is not attempting to colonize the East. That the APC governorship candidate lost, even with 38,000 policemen and all that, shows that the government represented by Buhari in this incident, and maybe like in Edo State too, has no hand in political rigging and whatever. And they should now come to the table, take a step further towards the government so that we can resolve this issue.
Okay, but let's look at the genesis of it. In case you're joining us, we're talking about political solution in resolving the crisis in the Southeast. And we're taking a cue after that meeting that was held on Friday, this past week Friday, by respected Igbo leaders when they paid Mr. President a visit, requesting for a political means in resolving the crisis rather than the military one we're having right now. And like I said, we do have no other person, but Dr. Charles Apoki helping through with the discussion. But let's come back and let's...
That Matthew, the British High Commissioner, Sir Comin Bruce, all of them pressed.
You have seen why I played that video. The most important information on that video I played was to show you the kind of problem the Igbo people are facing. The Biafran people, the kind of intimidation they are facing. We are in a state of war in Biafra land. Biafra land has become another Ukraine, but nobody's talking about it. Shall we keep silent and continue to die? Shall we remain silent and continue to die? A whole lot of Biafran people are losing their life on daily basis. These things are happening every now and again and continue to happen. Nobody's saying anything about it. The hypocrisy of the West is so much that they only care about themselves. They don't care about you. That is why they can come to our land and take our wealth. They take our wealth and everything we have. But when it comes to speaking up for the condition that we are in, they will never speak about it. They will never talk about it. They don't care about us. But we have to care about ourselves. We have to save ourselves. We cannot be silent. We cannot allow ourselves to be abused and used by this people. Every Biafran have to rise up. This is the time we have to rise up and defend ourselves. We have to. Let us hear from Aswila Mazinanga.
Not then have the examples of the collapse of Yugoslavia and of Soviet Union before our eyes. In other words, the man is saying that Nigeria, the zoo you have, Nigeria to some of you, is the same thing as Yugoslavia, the same thing as Soviet Union. And it is bound to collapse. That's what this man is lamenting in 1998. He is saying, we did not have the benefit of the collapse of Soviet Union or Yugoslavia to tell us what to do in the case of the animals in the zoo, Nigeria. Are you listening? This is from a British man, a high-ranking officer. He is a sir, he's a knight of the realm, Sir Peter Smithers. I will continue. It should now be clear for all, but the willfully blind. This is how intelligent this man is saying. It is clear to everybody, to both cockroach and rat, okay, Mochicha, everybody knows it is clear, unless you're living in denial, unless you are a denier of the truth, unless you are foolish. This is from a white man, please, not me. Unless you are willfully blind to see that it is extremely dangerous to force diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure such as that which is being built upon the foundation of the Maastricht Treaty. This man was saying the reason why Britain left the EU, the reason why Britain opposed, some of you don't know what is Maastricht Treaty, but I will tell you some other day. It was a treaty of European Union that Britain refused to sign. This man is saying the same mistakes of the past we are about to repeat. What is that mistake? To willfully joined together. He said it is extremely dangerous. A white man is saying is that Nigeria, as it exists today, Nigeria, is extremely dangerous because you are forcing diverse racial and social entities into a single rigid political structure that is unsustainable. Now, recent history, according to this man, Peter Smithers, sir, of course, he's a knight of the realm. Recent history suggests that it would be best to complete the development of the common market and to call a halt to political integration in Europe. These are the people of Brexit. They don't want Britain to be a part of one big political superstructure. The man is saying the same thing we built in Nigeria that is costing lives. And who is this man that wrote this? He said, I am, sir, your obedient servant, Sir Peter Smithers. Listen to his title. Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Minister of State and the Secretary of State in the Colonial Office from 1952 to 1959. And he lives in Vico Makote in Switzerland. Are you listening? These are people that knew that putting a country together, people of diverse social backgrounds. In Igbo land, am I the same thing with a Fulani man? The answer is no. I am related to Efik, to Ibibu. I'm related to Eshan, as they call it, Upiaja. I am related to Igonomigo, the people who are there. I have relationship with Urobo. I know I can relate to Isoko culture. I can relate to Ishekiri culture. But can I relate to Fulani culture? The answer is no. Maybe even to an extent, I can relate to Yoruba culture, Yoruba culture, to an extent. But do you think I can ever relate to Fulani culture? Of course, the answer is no. Because Fulani runs a feudal system, a rank-added system, where one big man stays at the top and gives you tea in the morning and asks you to go and stone somebody and you can't do it. That's what they do. Do you see the difference between an egalitarian society and one that is so structured that order will come from the emir or from the Sadiki or whoever? We are not like that. That is not democracy. And that value system was what the Fulanis brought to Asorok. These are the things that your so-called social scientists and your political analysts don't understand. What is playing out in Asorok today is the same Janjaweed feudal system, where one person stays at the top and just keeps distributing money that they did not work for. Money that they didn't earn. That is what is happening in the zoo. That same thing was what they brought to the center in Asorok, and some of you are too blind to see it. When we tell you that the zoo, Nigeria is unworkable, try to understand there is no nation on this earth where you have divergent values, divergent cultures and traditions welded together into a nation is a lie.
You have heard from Asprilla Mazen Nandekan, you have heard from him. That is a straight message from Mazen Nandekan. The hypocrisy of the West. These people are hypocrites. Even when Britain have refused to stay in EU. EU that they are all have the same culture, they refuse to stay. But they came to Nigeria and forced people who are not the same to be together. Hypocrisy of the West. Today they are busy. Everybody is talking about Ukraine, shouting about Ukraine. Everybody's rising, shouting about Ukraine. But that same occupation is what they are doing in Biafra land. Biafra land is under occupation by UK. Britain is occupying Biafra land through the Fulani Caliphate. The world pretend as if they are not seeing it. They have been bombing the Biafran people. The world pretend as if they are not seeing it. They are taking the life of innocent people. The world pretend as if they are not seeing it. A lot of evil happening in Biafra land. Even as you're watching this video, Biafran people have been abducted. Their homes burnt. The world is not speaking about it. But today, Ukraine is the front of everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. I'm not speaking against Ukraine. I'm in solidarity with the Ukraine people. Every single soul in Ukraine, I pray that Chukwu Okabian will save them, secure them, and deliver them. That's my prayer for them, that they will survive. I pray that Chukwu Okabian will secure any one of them. It is so sad. That's how difficult it is. That's how terrible and difficult it is. But we cannot stop. We cannot stop. We continue to speak and continue to fight for our freedom until we get our freedom. Nobody's going to deny us our freedom. Nobody will deny us our freedom. We must get our freedom. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, we'll get our freedom. And Chukwu will secure us and save us from all troubles. A lot of things are happening. Biafran people, we must not be silent. We will continue to speak. Speak and speak on top of your voice. Any problem, any complaint you have, put it forward. Talk about your food, your problems. Continue to shout on top of your voice. Only we can free ourselves. If we do not bring our problem to the public, if we do not talk about our situation, nobody will help us to talk about it. And each time, make sure you talk about the collective interest, not your personal interest. I'm not here for any personal interest. I'm not here for my own personal interest. I'm not here for anybody's personal interest. I'm here for the Biafran interest, collective interest of the whole Biafran people, that we must be free. And that freedom we must get, no matter how they try to stop us. Chukwu will set us free and grant us our freedom very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching wherever you're watching from. And remember, see you again tomorrow by the special grace of Chukwu. Please share the video to all platforms. Share the video to your family and friend. Share it in any platform where you belong. In your WhatsApp group, you can share the video. That is another way of broadcasting. That is another way of doing something. It's not compulsory that you must broadcast. When you are sharing a video, you are also supporting Biafra. You are doing something for the struggle. You never know who can see the video. You never know whom the video will come across. Try as much as possible to share videos in your platform each time you watch videos that are meaningful, video that will increase the struggle that we are struggling, video that will impact life and make sure that Biafra comes. Share it and let it go viral. That is how we can be able to achieve our aim. Thank you so much for watching wherever you're watching from. And remember, see you tomorrow.